Hare Krishna. Dear students, today we are going to discuss, rather revise, the topic that is center of gravity and moment of inertia. If you are having any doubt or any query, you can contact me on my email ID, that is shubhamkanungo@ipsacademy.org. So let us start the discussion. The content of this presentation is, first we'll discuss about center of mass, then we'll discuss about center of gravity, and then finally we'll discuss about centroids. So we'll start with the definition of each of these concepts, and later we will see the mathematical analysis of each of them. So let us start with the definition and the main points. So first we'll start with center of mass. Center of mass of any body or any system is a point where the whole mass of the body or the system is assumed to be concentrated. Now you know that a body is made up of so many small particles. A body can be assumed to be made up of so many small particles, and each particle is contributing in the mass of that body or system. So from this purview, we can consider that mass is a distributive property. It is not a property that is concentrated. It is a property that is distributive. So it is important to understand that why we are considering mass, or why there is a need to consider the mass to be concentrated at a point. Okay, I will reveal the importance and the significance of considering mass of a system or a body to be concentrated at a point. Okay, so you can write down the definition, that center of mass is the point where the entire mass of the body or system is assumed to be concentrated. Although mass of body or system is a distributed property, which I have told you, and why it is assumed to be concentrated, which I will later reveal. Now let us start with the concept of center of gravity. So dear students, center of gravity of a system or a body is a point where the entire weight of that body or that system is assumed to be concentrated. So you can write down the definition. It is the point where entire weight of the body or system is assumed to be concentrated. Now in this lecture or discussion, we are assuming that the body or the system that we are dealing with is kept in a uniform gravitational field. Although gravitational field vary as we go far away from the earth. At Mount Everest, the value of acceleration due to gravity, rather the average value of acceleration due to gravity is 9.75, and on the surface of earth it is 9.8 meter per second square approximately, average value. So you can see that there is a significant change in the value of acceleration due to gravity, and if each particle of body is being acted upon by a different value of g, then its calculation is different. So here in our discussion, we are assuming that the body or the system is acted upon by a constant gravitational field force, or we can say that the gravitational field is uniform. I will later discuss about how we can calculate the CG of a body which is placed in a non-uniform gravitational field, and what are the systems or what are the bodies that are being acted by these kind of gravitational field. When we will discuss about the space mechanics, so we will encounter with such kind of problem, but in this discussion we will only discuss about the body which are kept in a uniform gravitational field. Now we'll discuss about centroids. Centroids are defined for 1, 2 and 3 dimensional objects. Basically they are geometrical parameters. They are the center where the entire volume, area or the length can be assumed to be concentrated. For a 3-dimensional body, the volume is assumed to be concentrated at that point or at that centroid. For a 2-dimensional body or for a plane, the area of that plane is assumed to be concentrated at that point or at that centroid. And for 1-dimensional body, we are considering 1-dimensional body for the simplicity of analysis, or if the 2 parameter are of not that significance or of not that importance, we will consider 1 dimension of a body, and in that we can find out the center of the centroid of that 1-dimensional body, where the entire length of the body is assumed to be concentrated. So you can write down the definition. Centroids are the geometrical centers. They are defined for 3D, 2D and 1D objects. They are the point where the entire volume, area or the length is assumed to be concentrated. So till now we have discussed about the definitions of center of gravity, center of mass and centroid. In the definitions we have found that these are hypothetical points which are assumed, and it is important to note that why such assumption is there, why we are assuming the entire mass of the body to be concentrated at a point, why we are assuming entire weight of the body to be concentrated at a point, why we are assuming volume, area or length to be concentrated at a point. So now in the next slides or discussion, we will have a mathematical analysis of CG and CM, that is center of mass, and centroids, how mathematically they are evaluated. So we'll see the mathematical analysis, and after that mathematical analysis we will deal with certain problems of. Now let us try to find out the coordinate of center of gravity, center of mass, center of volume and center of area. So here we are considering an element which is placed in a uniform gravitational field. The characteristic of this element is its weight is W, its total mass is M, its cross-sectional area is A, it is acted upon by a uniform gravitational field G, its thickness, that is this, is T, and its density is rho, which is constant throughout this area. Okay. Now this element is made up of so many small particles. Let this be particle 1, this be particle 2, this be particle 3, this be particle 4, this be particle n. The particle here are considered to be infinitesimal small. They are very small. They are like a point. Okay. Now what will happen, as this body is placed in a uniform gravitational field, each particle is being exerted by a force that is W1, that is the weight of that point. The point 2 is acted upon by W2, point 3 is acted upon by W3, and point n is acted upon by Wn. Okay. Here we are considering G as constant, or the object is placed in a uniform gravitational field. Now the total mass of this system is nothing but equal to sum of the mass of all these particles. Okay, now as the object or the element is placed in a uniform gravitational field, and if we multiply this equation by G, it will become mg, it will become m1g plus m2g and so on up to mng. Mg is nothing but the total weight of this body, that is W. M1g is W1, M2g is W2, and so on up to Wn. Now we are interested in finding the COG of this body. COG of the body is the point where the total weight of this body is assumed to be concentrated. Although you can see that each element is contributing in the weight of this total body. So COG is nothing but the location or the point where the total weight of this body is assumed to be concentrated. So we have to find out that location. So the location can be find out with reference to something. So here we have taken x axis, y axis and z axis. For the simplicity of the analysis, we are considering the thickness to be very small, although it is non-zero, but the thickness is very small that it is not considerable to be considered in locating or in mentioning the coordinate of the COG. Okay. Now let us suppose this is the point which is the COG of the body. I am designating it as capital G. Here the total weight of the body is assumed to be concentrated. It means that it is the point where the total weight, this weight, is acting. Okay. So we have to find out the coordinate of G. As we have taken y and x axis, now let us find out the coordinate of COG with respect to x and y axis. although this is a three-dimensional object, but in our analysis we have considered the thickness to be very, very small, although thickness is non-zero. Now the coordinate of point 1, I am referring it as a point. Now let us find out the COG. COG of this body is the location where the total weight of this body is assumed to be concentrated. Although the body is made up of different elements and each element is contributing in the weight, and weight is a distributive property, but we are considering it to be concentrated at a point and we are designating that point as G. Now point 1, let have a coordinate x1, y1. Point 2 have coordinate x2, y2, and so on, that point N will have coordinate xn, yn. Let the coordinate of point G be x bar, y bar. Now to find out the x bar and y bar with respect to the parameters that are known to us, that is the mass or the acceleration due to gravity, we will use Varignon's theorem. Now Varignon's theorem states that the moment Now the Varignon's theorem states that, now let us apply the Varignon's theorem or the principle of moment. As we have studied the Varignon's theorem, let us apply the Varignon's theorem about the y-axis. So the Varignon's theorem states that the moment due to the forces about any axis is equal to the moment due to their resultant about the same axis. So here the resultant of all these forces is nothing but W. So the moment due to force W1 is this force, that is W1 multiplied by this distance. This distance is nothing but x1. So the moment due to the force W1 is W1 x1. The moment due to the force W2 is W2 x2, and similarly the moment due to the force Wn is Wn xn. Now as per the Varignon's theorem, it should be equal to W x bar. So from this we can calculate x bar. So by applying Varignon's theorem, we can find out x bar and y bar, which I will show you. That the W, this W is the total weight, x bar is the position of the COG, and by the principle of moment or Varignin's theorem, it should be equal to W1 x1 plus W2 x2 and so on up to W1 x1. That is the sum of moment of all the forces about y-axis is equal to the moment of their resultant, which is nothing but W. So you can find out x bar to be W1 x1 and so on up to W1 xn divided by W1 plus W2 up to Wn. It can be written in this form, and in integral form we can also write it as the integration of x dw by dw. Now if we rotate the coordinate system, or the whole object is rotated, then you can also find out the y coordinate of the COG. Okay. So here we have used the principle of moment of force. Now it is very interesting to note that the moment of any parameter can be find out. We can find out moment of any parameter, as we have discussed in the lectures which was conducted in our class, that moment of volume, moment of area, moment of mass is also there. So you can see it here. So the word moment was first used in mechanics in its sense of importance or consequence. The moment of force about an axis meant the importance of the force with respect to its power. But the word moment has also come to be used by analogy in a purely technical sense. It should be noted down in such expression as the moment of mass, moment of area, moment of volume. So in the previous equation, in which we have find out the coordinate of the center of gravity, we are used W x bar is equal to W1 x1 and so on up to Wn up to Wn xn. Okay. So we have used this equation. Now we know that the system or that object was placed in a uniform gravitational field. So instead of W, I can designate it as m g x bar, and instead of this W1 I can write down m1 g x1 and so on. So you can see that the g will get cancelled out and the equation will become like this: x bar is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 and so on, and we can find out the position of center of mass. So the equation which was used to find out the position of center of gravity can be used to find the position of center of mass by assuming the object to be placed in a uniform gravitational field. And the inference from this equation is the center of mass and the center of gravity of a body are the same coordinate if the body is placed in a uniform gravitational field. Okay. So you can note down, if the acceleration due to gravity is constant or uniform throughout the body or system, then the COG, that is center of gravity, and COM, that is center of mass, will be the same point. So now in this equation, if I replace the mass, we can convert the mass into density times volume. Okay. So if I replace mass by density into volume, so M1 will become rho V1, M2 will become rho V2, and so on. And you can easily struck off that density. Density can be taken out common from the numerator and denominator and can be cancelled out. So the equation of the center of mass will be used to find the position of the center of volume if the density of the body or the object is assumed to be constant throughout the volume. So if the density of a body or system is constant or uniform throughout the volume, then the COV, that is center of volume, or the centroid of a three-dimensional object, and COM will be the same point. So this will be the equation in which the density is cancelled out from the numerator and denominator, and you can write down. Now if the body is having a constant or uniform thickness throughout its volume, which I have assumed that the thickness of the body is constant throughout its area. So we can write down the volume to be area times the thickness. Okay. Now if I will put V1 is equal to A1T, V2 is equal to A2T, and so on, this thickness will get cancelled out from numerator and denominator, and we will left with the equation of COA, that is center of area or the centroid of a two-dimensional plane. So you can note down, if thickness of a body or system is constant or uniform throughout the area, then the COV, that is center of volume, and the center of area will be the same point. And you can note down that the volume can be written as area times thickness, and the thickness will get cancelled out from numerator and denominator, and you can find out the position of the center of area or the centroid of a plane in this manner.